Good morning. Welcome to another London session. I hope you can hear me. Yes, I think you can hear me. Okay, so what do we have here this morning? Today is the 1st of June and we've gone into a new month. Now, usually when we go into a new month, I do my high time frame analysis over the weekend. But since we've the new month is the middle of the week, today being Wednesday, I want to kind of go through the high time frame and see what price can do going forward in terms of the higher time frame. All right, so you have the ability to see what I do over the weekend when I'm looking forward to a new month. All right, so let's jump into it. I start with the dollar index, and obviously I have a couple of, but I focus mainly on these two time frames when I start my analysis for the new month. Okay, so looking at these two, that's where you're gonna be focusing on. So I start with the monthly, and right away you can see at the close of the month we have a gap in here. All right, we also have a run above that high, and price closed back inside the range. So we went outside the range. We went outside this range here, and price has rejected that range and closed back in. So that can be seen as a potential run or stop, right? And it could see price kind of try to trade to some form of imbalances on the downside because they've taken this high, right? It might want to drop down and attack or close in some imbalance over here. So going forward, right, I'll anticipate price based on the monthly time frame. I'll anticipate price coming down here. Okay, so on your daily time frame, somewhere here. Okay, on the monthly at the same time, since we've just opened a new month, right, this leaves an imbalance, so we are likely to trade to that. And the reason is we've gone above this high. Okay, since we've gone above that high, there's a high probability price would like to trade back down. Hence, you're looking for this that has just been created and that has the draw on liquidity. So a close of this and that. And then we drop down to the weekly. So we're looking for a run back below this low to here, and then possibly I think it's this candle's low. That's the monthly low or the previous month low. I'm gonna draw a line on that one as well. Let's get rid of this box right there. Right, now let's draw back down to the weekly. So we are looking for price to trade here, here, that would be the best case scenarios, and then maybe that level. Okay, and then looking at the weekly, obviously we have a swing high placed in, we have a swing low here, so the idea would be we have a trading range, hence we're going to look for price to trade to equilibrium, which we have, and then we will look for at least OTE. So OTE will have the imbalance that I have on the monthly, which is this and that. 79 retracement levels here, so we can see the imbalance is within OTE, so we are likely to trade into OTE. Okay, and then we drop down to the daily. Now on the daily, this is where it gets a little bit overwhelming, because on the high time frame you can see, but then on the daily it becomes like, okay, what's going on? I'm gonna hide this one for a second. Right, so on the daily we did have a swing high in here, 1 2 3, swing low, price trades back into premium. Okay, and then now we can see that rejection. All right, so H4, this high to this low, if you do the fib, right, we're looking for price to reject and come back down again. So from where we are, I think we might trade into this imbalance. Okay, but it'll be family strong once we break this low. So once we go below this low, I will be looking for that imbalance in here, and this, I think basically we're gonna attack this low. All right, so that is the high time frame, analysis for the dollar. So with the monthly chart, right, we derived that we formed a high, we're gonna look for price to continue. On the weekly chart, we derived that we have a range, therefore price should trade to a certain level, right? 50% has been achieved last week, so we're gonna look for a continuation to OTE. We also have a fair value gap here, right? So we're gonna looking for price to close that one in as well, especially after going for that high. Want to see that one closed in, and then we move to the daily. We have the swing high, swing low, price pullback. What made me look for a buy? I do have a buy on the British pound. What made me look for a buy on the British pound is the fact that yesterday's price action, I was watching that to see if it will reject this high, and it did actually reject that high. So I was considering this as a run on this high and also into OCE, and hence we should see price continue going down. On the lower time frame, you will see we have breaking market structure, price returns back to this, and then we're seeing a run to downside. Right, so we're looking for this as a near-term target, and then a continuation to the downside. Okay, let me quickly check something over here. All right, I was checking a trade that I shared earlier on. So on euro, that will give you basically the opposite, but I did not trade the euro. I traded the British pound, like I said. On the monthly chart, okay, we've gone below this low here, so I'm giving you my high time frame analysis that I will do over the weekend. right? We've gone below this low and price has rejected that, right? It doesn't mean we are bullish and it's gonna go to the moon. No, it's just that we went for a external low, right? And price has rejected that. So the next potential move is to the upside. To be specific, exactly today, being 1st June, there is a potential euro rallying. So we're gonna look at this candle because that's the last down candle, right? And then inside that, we're gonna see if there are imbalances that price would like to go back because of price taking out this low. We have a small one up here. Right, we do have a small one up here. Okay, so we could see price actually go for that. I'm not saying it's gonna go today, but we could see price trade up to that level, right? So the idea is we are looking for a move to the upside. That's what I want you to focus on. We are looking for a move to the upside. On the daily time frame, we retrace back into this last down candle, right? And we also rejected this candle's low. Hence, that to me is a potential run on stop. Hence, we're gonna see higher prices. Okay, so today we should see rally on euro with the narrative that I've given on the dollar, right? So up here, that's where I think price is trying to draw to this morning, or by the end of the day, I think we could see price up here. All right, so that is the euro. British pound. Okay, so British pound, I actually got in yesterday using this auto block here, and I went in here when this candle closed, right? And then this one started retracing. That's where I started looking for my potential buys. So let's see if we can get this equal high this morning. All right, that's my aim for this morning. I want to see price drive above this equal high into that. We also have previous week high just above it. That's also a level to anticipate price going. So from this equal high, we looking for that one as well. New Zealand, obviously the high time frame analysis is going to be the same on this, right? Now once I do the dollar index, the rest is going to be doing the opposite, right? So I don't do much analysis on the foreign currencies because the dollar is the most important one. So if I see that dollar is going to go down, all I do is, okay, on this pair, where is price trying to reach for? And then I start looking at, obviously we have this imbalance, so we could see price fill that one in. Right, we also have this old low here, so that can be another level. Okay, so this would be the upside objectives that I will look for. from the beginning of this month, that will be where I'll start looking for price to reach for. And on the daily time frame, obviously we traded back to this down candle. We are looking for continuation to the upside. We started the week and price dropped down, which is very good. So we want to see the expansion maybe today to the upside. If you don't get an expansion today, then maybe they're going to drag it till Friday, which would be the NFP. All right, so just be aware that we have NFP on Friday. So if it doesn't rally, then mostly it's going to be on Friday. That's where the rally is going to potentially take place. All right, New Zealand will be the, let me see. Okay, so this is a gap on the daily time frame, which is still open. Really traded back into this candle. Based on the higher time frame, you already know dollar is going down. So on the upside, what can price reach for? We have this small little gap there. I think it's gonna reach for that, but it might probably go through it because I shared the idea of using the Fibonacci, right? Where price is reversing from 618, we want it to trade to at least 75 there about. So you can see you have the small little gap there. All right, so that's the draw on liquidity for me right now there, with that small little gap there, right, as where most of the target, right, should be taken. And then there, it's not far away from each other. So on the daily time frame, the idea is we are looking for buys only. Okay, we are not interested in price going down. As a matter of fact, as it's going down, you should be looking at, okay, where can I get in? So you zoom in here. They taking out previous day's low right there, here, and then price has rejected. If you are looking to buy, you should be in by now, right here. Okay, that's the auto block after the run on previous day's low. So that will be the entry. And in terms of targeting, right, because you're buying on the 5 minutes or 15 minutes chart, it's gonna have to battle with this last up candle prior to the move down. So maybe this candle's low will be an ideal level to take partial, and then once you go above this high, then just let the the trade run. Okay, so right now, if you did buy it, your partial level, your partial profit taking level will be, I think, this one. Okay, if you go in here, this one, because that's the beginning of the move up, taking out these highs, and then it broke down. So that's your ideal partial profit level. And then once you breach this high, you can let the rest go, and then you probably will look for more entries once we make a new high, right? So on the H4, this is a high, this is a higher high, this is a lower high. So once we make a higher high, then you can start looking for what a potential buy position again. Okay, Aussie is going to be the same. This one tipped into an imbalance. I think Aussie has got some strength and we might see it pop above this equal high. The high time frame analysis is the same. We've gone below a low, rejected. We are looking for price to trade to 50% of this range, which we have already. We haven't yet. Okay, so 50% is all we have there. So before we get to the 50%, there are liquidity points that price might react. So we have this equal high, and then that 50% will bring you right inside this imbalance. So that's where I think price is going from where we are, right? So you can look for your buys to take you up into that, and then once you get there,
I want biscuits. Thank you, Daddy.
all right, sorry for that. That's the little king. He wants biscuit and he must get biscuit. Okay, so you Aussie has, I think, strength in it. That's why I didn't drop that much yesterday. So I'm looking for that to also continue going up. It actually consolidated in here, so we should see one more run above this high. The ideal level I was considering, that retracement to unfold was down here, but they use the daily imbalance, right, which is this one here, right? They use that and reject it, and then this morning price trades into that auto block there and rejection. So we should see a continuation to the upside on this one. All right, so Aussie, we are bullish, looking for a run above this equal high. Now what would change that will be only if we take out this low, and that is very far away. Okay, so as long as this low is still there, we are looking for a run above this high. All right, so anything that happens in here over the course of the next 2 days, because we have NFP on Friday, anything that happens, right, it's just a retracement based on the daily. Okay, and if they do want to send it down aggressively, this is where you want to watch it. I don't think it should, but in case it does, that's where you want to watch it, right? So for today, I'm looking for higher prices. That's what I'm anticipating, but I don't have a position on this. Like I said, I bought the British pound. I bought that because it showed willingness based on the H4 here, right? That is my only reason why I am buying the British pound. The euro didn't do that. Okay, the New Zealand didn't do that. Aussie didn't do that. Even though there's strength in Aussie, it didn't do that either. So the only pair that did manage to show a bit of strength was British pound for me right here. So this move down, it's just OTE. Right, it's just OTE for price to go back up again. So my main target, like I said, is this equal high, because there's an imbalance over there for today. Is there? Once we break above that high, I'm gonna look for more buys. Okay, but for now, I'm looking at this, and then once we break above the previous week high, which is this one here, and then I'll look for another potential buy. On the H4, you have high, higher high, lower high. We did not breach that low, so lower high, you're gonna make another high. Once you make the new high, maybe a pullback, and then another expansion. Dollar CAD, I think we're gonna drive down to this candle's high maybe today, but on the higher time frame, again, we are starting a new month, so let me remove this thing that we have in here. Okay, so based on the higher time frame, right, we do have a run above previous quarterly highs. Okay, that's what that is. So on the monthly time frame, those are the quarterly highs, by the way. On the monthly time frame, price look to do what? To reject and come into discount, right? And in discount, we always look for basically either price to come back down and rebalance, or to go to the opposing direction for stops. So either it's gonna take out the stops here and come and rebalance, or go down and take stops. In terms of the weekly, we had a small little imbalance in here, but on the daily we have this massive one. So that's where I think price is going to rebalance, and this is the target for me. Once we hit that, I'm okay. I'm not interested in what price is going to do next, right? So today I'm actually short from here. Right, I shorted there, and I'm looking for price to come down here. That's it. That's all I'm looking for on dollar CAD. Yesterday I had it trading and I totally forgot. I totally forgot about it, because I'm not doing much when we have NFP, so I completely forgot that I put the trading. And I only realized it when I wanted to take an extra trade on a different account this morning. So I took this yesterday on a different account, and when it retraced, I went to the account that I took this, and price was back at break even. Okay, price was back at break even, and I was thinking, oh wow, so I let all this profit run and come back. So okay, let me take it on a different account. So I took that on a different account, looking for price to reach for this level. Alright, so that's the business on dollar CAD. I'm looking for a rundown here. Euro pound, I'm actually not doing anything on this, because this is just this is torture, right? This is pure torture, because it's not doing anything. On the H4, it's like we're stuck. So I'll leave that one alone, but maybe once you get some expansion, I'll come back to it. Not this moment, because it's just not doing anything in my opinion, and it's not worth it. Gold, I placed in a hypothetical trade, or a paper trade here. We did dip into this imbalance, and we traded above this down candle. It's not a live trade, right? It's just me back testing. So I said, okay, I'm gonna buy here, and I'm gonna target 2 to 1. I think on the 1 hour there was something right here, this imbalance. That's why I said maybe price might drive into that, okay, and maybe go for this last up candle as well. So overall, I'm looking for price to go down here, but this might be a retracement. If it does retrace, watch this last up candle over here. I think it's caught my interest. Sorry. I didn't wake up early today, but it seems I'm tired already. This high or this high to this low, that will give you at least a retracement to OTE. 618, perfect. With a stop above that, and then look for this gap to be closed in. The main draw is this candle's low, quarterly low. Right, you know this by now, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. We are looking for continuation to the downside on gold. All right, but this is just something that I want to see if it can happen. Okay, it's not a trade idea. I want to see if it can happen. Crude oil. So crude oil yesterday, it went into the level that I pointed you guys to over here. And as soon as it went there, boom, it just gave a massive rejection. All right, and I was looking to see how it would trade in here on the 1 hour in here. So when it got there, I was actually contemplating on, if not because of the time of the day, I was contemplating on waiting for price to close above this high, and then I'll buy it again and target that level. But you know, it didn't close above it, and the next thing I see is price made a move down again. So it gave me, you know, some impression that probably we've made a high. Now, why do I think we've made a high? Well, seasonally, June is a month that sees it sees the oil make a high and then trade down to probably towards the end of June. And since we are above this high here, which is a reference point for liquidity, and we dipped into this auto block here, plus we have this gap, right? It seems to me that this is going to be probably an important high, and therefore we might see price trade down here, even maybe these lows here. So I want to see how, you can see I have this level highlighted. I want to see how price is going to trade in here. Okay, if we do break down one more time, I'm gonna sell short every pullback. So I want to see it, does it have, you know, strength to trade through and go above this high? If it does, then maybe I'll look for one more run into that level, and then I'll look for maybe another rejection like this. But if we do not, okay, and then price rejects, then, you know, that is an important high. I'll look for these lows, and I think this small imbalance that was left earlier before going up, I'll look for price to trade here. So I'm watching to see, do we reject this? If we reject that and we break down, I'm gonna look for a sell. Right, if we don't and we break above this high, I will not buy it, but I'll wait till it gets up here, and then I'll anticipate a rejection again. Why? Because of seasonality and because we are above this candle's high. Okay. Let me read your question. I'm looking for a pair to choose in purpose to study related to mastery, to master. So I would like to discuss about what would be suitable regarding landing such an Indian, maybe not Asian pair. Also should be reliable regarding seasonal tendency. I've shown you the pairs that I like. Okay. I like 4 pairs: Aussie, New Zealand, pound, euro. But if I was to choose 2 pairs, only 2, I'll go for the Aussie and New Zealand. Why? Because the euro and the pound is overcrowded and there's a lot of manipulation. So if I was to choose just 2 pairs out of the 4, I would do New Zealand and Aussie. Okay, but you cannot ignore pound and euro because those are pairs that they do. If you can find your groove on those 2 pairs. So when I say your groove, with everything that you know or you've learned, if you can master something on that pair, because price is price, it's just that you have to be able to master that. Let's say you're learning from me, for example, the things that you're learning, if you can master it on those 2 pairs, they are incredible. Okay, I don't like it because I trade the high time frame, and most of the time there's a bit of manipulation, and I learned it from someone, I can't remember who. There was a guy that was giving some tips on pairs that you want to trade, and he mentioned something that it doesn't change anything, but it did make sense that because you have a lot of people trading euro and pound, obviously it will be loaded with a lot of retail traders, and retail traders will have stops everywhere. So that pairs, they can manipulate it to take out retail traders quite often because it's traded by a lot of retail traders. And the argument was, if you can find a pair that is not traded by it's not traded a lot by retail traders, then you are going to find less manipulation on those pairs. Alright, so he gave example like Aussie New Zealand is a pair that not a lot of retail traders like to trade, so there should be less manipulation. A pair like CAD Swiss, right? That's also a pair that not a lot of retail traders like to trade it, hence less manipulation. But less manipulation doesn't mean that it's always going to give you a profitable trade. That's why I said, if you can master whatever you're learning on the pair, that's all you need. So you don't have to choose, you just have to master the pair. So just pick one and master it. Okay, let's carry on. Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin is gonna trade up here. Okay, based on the high time frame analysis, I think we are forming a swing low, and I'm looking for a move to that level. I actually have a small position for a buy and hold on Bitcoin. Right, I have a small position on a buy and hold, basically from here after the move that I talked about here. I bought a little bit, just a small, because this is a pullback. and I'm holding on to it just to appreciate. Right? I'm not saying you should go and do the same. I'm just telling you what I've done. If you want to do the same, that's entirely up to you. Right? And I did not touch Ethereum because this high is still a problem, but I think it might go above it. They have an imbalance in here on the daily time frame. It's dipping into it, so I'll be expecting a push higher today or tomorrow. Okay, so that's pretty much it on here. Let's move to the next. This morning I posted a trade on this, right? The reason is on Monday I gave you two levels to watch, right? One was this to that, right? So extend this low in time. That was one level, and the other level was this. Okay, and I said if price trades there, you might want to look for a sell. Well, yesterday it did. Let me extend that one in time. Right, yesterday it did, and it gave that reaction. Monday, that time of the day, you're not going to do anything, but yesterday during the New York session, right, it did, and it offered something move, but I was not convinced with the way price was trading, especially with the way they were dropping these two, okay, this one and that one. They were dropping both of them. Go back. They were dropping this one. They were dropping that one. So I was not convinced that that pair was going to do much. Why? Because they were dropping both of them. Hence, it's gonna do what you saw, consolidate. But today, this one rallied quickly, right? As soon as the market opened, or Asian session, it just rallied quickly into that level. And what filter did I use? This one, let's go back to Euro first. This stayed above this low. Okay, that stayed above that low. This took out this low. So if you're looking at from a structure point, we've already taken liquidity, so there's no reason for price to come back down. Right here, we've already taken liquidity, so there's no need for price to come back down. But this liquidity is still below this, so price can come back down here. I'm not saying it's going to, but it can. Or it can. I was watching that YouTube, and it's not YouTube, it was on TikTok or Instagram, and you have Kevin Hart and this guy that sang that song, Big Shaq, and he said, what is that? It's a can, and then he said it's a can, and it's a can, and that came into mind when I said it can. It can trade up, okay, but because we have liquidity below this low, there's a potential that it can trade down here. Okay, so if you couple that idea, then I'll expect this one to stay above this previous day's low, and this one maybe try, I'm not saying it's going to, try to stay in a consolidation, or maybe try to come and attack the previous day's low. right? Hence that gives you a potential setup on that one, right? So I think I've taken my system should take partial by now, because that's how I set it up, to take partial above this candle's high. Let's look at Aussie Yen. Okay, it has run into it. I was going to show you that we might run into that. I think that level is up there. Now it's 1st June, okay, and we've run into higher high, breakdown, last up candle. Last week we talked about this, okay. Previous week high, this candle still being the down candle. They've gone above it. Notice that it has not closed yet. This candle is still trading. This one is still trading. So on this high, let me zoom in. That's this candle's high, right? This one. Notice that we went above it and rejected, and then today they've run one more time above it. Now whenever you see this kind of price action, okay, be alert. Okay, be alert. Why? Because let's go back in time and I'll show you examples like this. When you have a condition and you see market running up quickly, let's say bearish condition, and you see market running up quickly, most of the time it's running up quickly because it's trying to get there for a reason, and then all you're gonna see is a rejection. Okay, let me see proper like this, right? 1 2 3 4 5, all up candles. When you see that running quickly and leaving imbalances, and you are anticipating a sell, the moment you see this, right, you good to go. All right, so anytime you see a quick sudden run up in a bearish, when you're expecting bearish market, and the opposite is true when you're expecting bullish market. When you see a quick run down when you're expecting bullish price action, usually those are going to be manipulation, right? So all you have to do is just patiently wait for the last down candle to give up, and then you're good to go. Okay, so I'm watching this today, especially today being 1st June. I'm watching how we're gonna trade inside that area. That's my last line in the sand. If they go above that high, if they go above this imbalance, that's it. You know, I'm no more bearish. I'm not looking to sell unless I see, you know, they daily give me something. That's when I'll look for a sell, but I will not be interested in any sell anymore if they go above this. Okay, that's it for me. So you can look at this high to this low and measure that range right there. Okay, they are above 70.5, 79. So if they go above that imbalance, I'm no more interested. All right. Swiss yen, I'm watching it to see what it's gonna do. Based on the high time frame, maybe it might take out this high and hit this candle's low. This is also an example, right? Look at that sudden quick run up, 1 2 3 4, and then boom, gives up. Okay, maybe you might want to run previous week high before rejecting. And notice how we have a very small wick on the downside. It's a small wick on the downside. It's saying something. Okay, the weekly range, we should see a little bit to the downside, especially in a bearish move like this, right? So the fact that they've left that small wick, and you can barely see it on the lower time frame here, that means the market opened straight away, went up. That's a red flag. Okay, so yesterday I was actually looking at this imbalance to see what price was gonna do, and it didn't give me what I was looking for. So now my eye is on the previous week high, because they've gone through this imbalance, so it's not relevant anymore. My eye is on that high. I want to see how price is gonna behave once it goes above that high, and what I'm looking for is displacement. I want to see sudden death. Right, I want to see sudden death. Once I see that, nice equal lows in here, and then the original target is still there. So sudden death. Okay, you're not trying to catch the high, wait for sudden death, and then you can start looking for the rejection. Why is there no HD resolution as before? I cannot see clear. Why is there no HD resolution? Because I have changed my settings. Yesterday I was doing a live session with my private group, and they were finding it hard to hear me. Okay, they were struggling to hear me, so I had to do some changes. Hang on. I had to do some changes, so maybe that's why you're not seeing it properly. Give me 1 second. Let's go here. Oh, I see. Yep, I'll have to change it. I didn't know that that's how you guys see it. I'll have to change it. I'll change it for next session. This session is almost done, so I'll change it for the next one. All right. Let me see if we can. I don't think I can improve it now because it's a live stream. Yeah, I don't think I can improve it for today. If you had brought my attention to it earlier, I would have done something about it, but right now it's a bit too late. So yeah, I'll do it for the next one. All right, so maybe maximize your screen and you might see what I'm showing you. Yeah, it doesn't look great, does it? Yeah, sorry guys, I didn't know that. I should have watched it on the YouTube first. That's very unprofessional. All right, it's okay. It's a one-off. You survive. Okay. So we are looking for sudden death on this before we do anything. Aussie New Zealand, I got the direction wrong this week, and the again, when I get something wrong, I go in and try to find out why, right? And I did see why I got it wrong. We did not confirm bearish price action on the weekly time frame, right? That is why I got it wrong. And I probably was too excited for the week, and I basically ignored this candle, and I paid only attention to that one. Okay, so over the weekend, I think I only paid attention to this one. Okay, and if you pay attention to just this one, that is just going to retrace and then go down. But if you bring in this candle, then it changes the whole narrative, because now this is all inside that one, right? So the market is still bullish from here to here to here. The market is still bullish. So this move down is just running. It didn't even take it. I think on another platform it did. I'm using FXCM. I think Rwanda did take it, right? And I don't know why you're showing yourself, right? Rwanda did take it here, right? But FXCM didn't. Okay, so that was the main reason why, I was anticipating the sell, but then I got it wrong and I made it right, because I think it's gonna, if that is the case, it's gonna go for this high. So mitigation can happen. Any retracement is just a buy to take price above this equal high, right? That's the benefit of knowing a little bit about what price is doing, because once you get it wrong, you can get it right. Okay, so take a stop, take a loss here. Now I'm looking for a buy to take price for this equal high. It can't reach for that, but this one looks too clean, so I like that. Okay, so that's what I think price is reaching for, and we are not far away from it. About 37 pips. And on the H4, sorry guys. Okay, sorry for that. That's the little boy. He does what he does. Bump in, like my mom would say, like you pay the bills. Anyway, let's look on the 1 hour time frame. In this scenario, maybe just OTE, because I don't see anything in here. Let's check the 30 minutes chart. Yeah, I think OTE will do. I don't see anything. Maybe this candle's high from here all the way down. That's the beginning of the drop. So maybe that candle's high. And then up there. Alright. So So that's the business on Aussie New Zealand. Now the rest, I'm not touching them, right? The only thing that I touched is the one that I shared. Oh, Aussie New Zealand. I'm sorry, Pound New Zealand. I'm not touching that. I like this one. This one did fit the criteria in terms of range. So that's the one I went for. I didn't like this one. Could have taken this one, but I don't like it. So that's the one that I took, and that's the one that I shared. Let's go to the indices. Yesterday, this thing gave me a heart attack. What are you doing?
Oh, that's bigger.
Oh man, my son is something else. At some point, he's gonna grow and he's gonna stop. But for now, just endure him. Let's go and check. Let me see the dollar cards. Okay, dollar card is doing well. The question was, I would like GU to run yesterday's low for a buy similar to what NU did. Well, we have traded into this down candle, right, and created this auto block here. And if this one was created in Asia, then yes, I will look for it to be run. But because it was created in London, or London crossover New York session, I think, okay, based on this, I think it might, if it's gonna come here, I think it should take out this equal high first. That's why I'm taking partial there, right? Now I can be wrong and it can come back down here, but based on price hitting this, creating that, and retracing, I'll look for this as the near-term liquidity. And then maybe after that, if it wants to come back down here, it can. Because it's NFP week, right? NFP, they do all sort of things. So it can run that high and they immediately come back down again. Give me 1 second, guys. Trying to turn on my other computer. Okay. Yeah, so I think it might go for that first. Okay. Now, if it does come for this, no problem. You still do the same thing. I'll wait for an order block to form, and then I'll buy it. I think yesterday, one of our members in the private session, private group, he actually bought this, right? And he messaged me. He sent me a DM. He asked me, because that's when we're having our live session here. So at 2 o'clock we start the live session, and I told them that if price was able to close above that, that should give them a buy. And 3 o'clock we finished the session. So he sent me a message, this candle closed above it, can I go in and buy? And I went, of course you can, but it's up to you. Okay, I'm not gonna give you the go ahead to go and take a trade. I'll just tell you what I'm looking at, right? So on the lower time frame, I showed him where he should have got in, So the 1 hour candle closed at 3 here. So his trade entry should have been on this movement down. That's where he should have been taking the trade. And I gave him this equal high as the target. And then once he gets there, then obviously he will look for the H4 to close above that, and then if the H4 closes above that, then he can do the same thing he did on the 1 hour. Okay, so this is the 1 hour close, retracement buy up. So same thing on the H4. If it does close, then he can do the same thing. Okay. Please could you comment on Enigma signal Euro New Zealand buy long? I think it created the long because of the run above this high. Okay, it created the long because of the run above that high, and because there was manipulation to the downside first. Remember I told you I took a sell here, I took partial. Why did I take partial? Because there is an auto block. So Enigma will give you a trade. Okay, I'm using FXCM. I'm going to use this one. Okay, Enigma will give you a trade. Why? Because it did run stops and run up, so it's going to give you a trade. But without understanding price, you can't use it. That's why you learn to read price so you can use Enigma effectively. Okay, so if you were to buy it straight away with price action, don't you think that you're gonna be met with resistance up here, right? Okay, with the understanding of price action, you know that you're gonna meet with resistance up there. So why would you want to buy it, right? Plus, on the daily time frame, we are not trending. Are we trending? We are not. So you're not gonna buy it because it's a signal and then you buy it. No, you're only gonna buy when the market condition is favorable. That's why it's important that you do your own analysis first before you stick Enigma on, because if it gives you the trade idea, it does not mean it's gonna move in that direction. All right, so only do your analysis first. Know the direction that you, the trader, you're going to trade in. Are you going to trade to the upside or are you going to trade to the downside? Once you establish that, then you go in and look for the trade idea in that direction. Don't do the opposite. Don't look for the signal and then go and look at price action. Right? If you do that, you're going to get it wrong most of the time. So the correct way is do your analysis first, know which direction you're going to trade, so that when the signal comes, you're not confused. Okay? Because when the signal comes and you go and do your price action, you are going to get conflicts, thoughts, ideas, where maybe the signal is telling you to buy, but your analysis is saying it's a sell. All right, so that's my advice. Do your analysis first, know the direction you're trading in, and then wait for the signal. That is the right way. I think which pair? Gold. Let's go to gold. Let's stick Enigma on. If it's gonna work on that, let me use the old version. Okay, say on the old version, right? I said that I'm looking for price to do what? To retrace here. Based on my price action analysis, right? I'm looking for price to retrace here before I consider selling. Okay, notice that I did not stick Enigma on. I just did the price action analysis first. Now if you turn Enigma on and it's giving you a trade idea here, do you really want to take that sell? No. Why? Because we've been dropping for a while, okay, and we just dipped into a high time frame imbalance, so the market will likely retrace. So if you're selling here, what will happen to you? You're gonna get crushed. Okay, you're gonna get crushed. So do the analysis first, like before, when we were looking for price to come and run this high, right? How many buy signals did it give? 1, 2, 3, 4 before it ran that high. So nice entry. This one that stopped you out if you took this one, but ultimately it worked out, and then you got another entry here taking you to where the price was going. That is how you use Enigma. Okay, you don't do this and then they show you the trade and then you're not going to go and do your price action analysis. All right, don't do that way. All right, any other questions? I think I was going to talk about this, yes, before I got interrupted. Yesterday this pair gave me heart attack. Why? Because on the lower time frame, you can see I still have my lines on there. I was playing with this on a live account, and I don't usually trade it, but yesterday I was like, okay, it has traded to let's go to the daily time frame, this high. It has traded to this high, right? That last up candle prior to this move down on the higher time frame, and then it gave a rejection. All right, so at the time we had this imbalance still there, and it's still there. So I dropped down to the lower time frame and I saw equal high. Let's drop down. I saw these clean equal highs. Now it could be my broker, because they like to do that. So I was like, okay, I think price is gonna do what? Go and clean up those and then dip into that imbalance. So I'm only kind of day trading it to go there, or scalping to go there. And in here I took a buy. I'll show you. So after the H foreclosed, obviously, that's when I started looking for it. So the H foreclosed at 6 here, 5:55, and then this candle started, right? So that's the that's this candle here, right? That one started there, and then it started trading down first. Okay, so I saw that as manipulation. It took out this low, and then it traded above this down candle. I missed that one, so I took this one. So I took this one because I was not in front of the screen at the time, and it takes me that, it doesn't take me long to know what price is trying to do. So I went in here with my stop below that, and then looking for just this. Okay, there's that. And I was in profit. As soon as I got in, I was in profit, and this is what I was looking for. Now I have a bit of a I won't call it a problem, but I like precision, right? I like, if I'm looking for price to go here, it's like it has to do it. So sometimes it does come back and hunt me down, like this one did. So guess what? That's where I was looking for price to go, and price got here. I was excited, we're gonna run up, and it traded back down. I was like, okay, no problem, it's gonna go. Then it dipped down. I was like, okay, I think they've taken out this low. Now we should see a run up and close in that gap, right? And then this candle, and then that candle. So on that candle, I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna move away from the computer, because that 15 minutes right there, it felt like a week. That's why I don't like day trading, right? Or scalping, because I want things quick. If I'm in the lower time frame, I want it to move in my favor quick. So in here, it felt like 2 weeks for me. And then that candle, and that didn't take out that level. Man, I was sweating, because I didn't over leverage, but the movement on that, the P&L was fluctuating like crazy. It goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down. So here it dropped down. I was like, ugh, I should have closed it right there. And I said, okay, no problem, I think it's gonna go up from this imbalance. I should have recorded the trade. I said it's gonna move from this imbalance and then run up. So it dipped in, it rejected, I was excited, and then it came right back down below that and then rejected. I'm gonna go onto the 1 minute chart. There. Okay. So that's the imbalance. It dipped in, rejected, right? We have high, breakdown. So at that point, I knew that, I think I effed up. So I was thinking, okay, how do I do this? Do I close it? Should I just wait because we still have time? And then this dip happened and it rejected. As soon as it went up there, I closed the trade. I gave up all this profit and closed it there. So, the moral of the story is don't look for precision, because if you try to look for precision, sometimes it can come back and hunt you, right? And this is a typical example of not looking for precision, because you should be content with, if you're looking for, like I was looking for price to run this high, and price came that close, and that's what I'm saying. It could be my broker, or it could be anything, but it came very close, and I was monitoring the trade on this whilst taking it on a different platform. And then ultimately it went kaput. So I was glad I closed the trade in profit, and looking back, I was thinking, man, if I had let this trade run, I would have been in trouble, because I would kind of it would feel so weird to me that it didn't run that equal high. So that's what I did with the NASDAQ, and I had a choice between NASDAQ and the Dow, okay? Because the Dow did the same thing, but man, I'm not trading the Dow, not now. Not now. It did have the same thing, Okay, it did have the same thing, equal high, price closed above this down candle, the next candle open, it retraces. That was the basis of the trade, right? That candle closing after hitting that. So I was looking for buy. So I saw this and I saw the Nasdaq did the same thing. I was going to take it on S&P, but S&P didn't do it. Okay, S&P didn't close above this down candle. That would have been the one I would have taken that trade on, but because it did not close above the down candle, I said, okay, I'm not taking the down, so let me take the Nasdaq. And that was what I had to endure yesterday. But moral of the story is we are still bullish. We should see price run up. I don't want to see them close back below this low, below this high. Right, that's enough. If it close back in, maybe it might retrace a little bit back down here into discount before making another move up. I don't want to see that, right? I just want them to go up from here, and that will be applied to all the other indices, right? We should stay above this high, and we should stay above that high for us to be looking for that continuation to the upside. So yeah, pretty much that's all. I'm gonna read that final question and then I'll bring the session to an end, because the resolution is that it's not good. Please comment what threshold value you mark on the trade usually. Monthly high, low, daily, previous day high, low. I don't understand your question, so if you can rephrase it, maybe I can help. I don't understand the question. Dollar CAD, British pounds. Ugh. What are you doing? NFP week is so slow and it's so what values do you refer in order to trade? Again, I don't understand that. What value do you refer in order to trade? The question is not making sense to me. You mean, what do I target? Are you asking for my targets, or I target, depending on the entry, mostly is going to be imbalances, right? Imbalance to imbalance, or order block to an imbalance. So I look for an order block to buy, and then I target an imbalance, or I look for an order block to sell and I target an imbalance, or I look for an imbalance and I target stops, right? And just to let me use the New Zealand trade that we took I think last week, yes. So this was an order block to, where is it? Order block to an imbalance here, or the 1 hour time frame. Order block to an imbalance. All right, and you can also take an imbalance. What imbalance trade did I take? This one. Yesterday's trade. Let me zoom in. This one here. Right, I take an imbalance to an imbalance. So that's how I target. You mean how do I see bias? I think we've talked a lot about bias, right, on the high time frame. You can watch the previous sessions that we did, the one that I titled higher time frame. You can use that one to get understanding on how I look for the bias. Plus the weekly range expansion as well. How to use the weekly range expansions to basically look for your bias. So if you talk about bias, then we've covered a lot of them on the high time frame in the last 1 month. So you should be familiar with that. But the moral of the story is, if you're bearish, we're looking for continuation. If you're bullish, we are looking for continuation on the weekly time frame. And then on the daily, we use auto blocks, imbalances, and then in the lower time frame, you use time of the day, auto blocks, liquidity. I just summarized it in 1 minute. Higher time frame, it is what it is. Lower time frame, we use the auto blocks and the imbalances. So on the daily, on the lower time frame, we use time of the day, auto blocks, and liquidity to target the higher time frame levels. Okay, so it's 9:30. I think my time is up because of the resolution on this session. I'm not gonna do much, so let's call it a day. I'll see you guys on Friday. I'll see what I can do to make this the resolution better. Okay, I apologize for today, and I'll see you guys on Friday. All right, enjoy the rest of your day.